Hey, and we are live here on Let's Talk the Talk with our guest Jason Bennett. How you doing today, man?
Doing well, doing well. How about
Doing
you?
well. I'm good. I'm good. I'm real good, man. For people who don't know you, you want to give us a little background about yourself?
Sure. Licensed realtor, own a property management company. Been operating in the real estate industry for roughly 15 years now. Mostly Harford County area, but pretty much all of Maryland.
Oh man, hey, that's what's
Yeah.
up. What made you go into real estate, or what led up to you going into that career choice?
It's kind of a crazy story, actually. I was printing newspapers, which kind of dates me because obviously,
No.
obviously nobody prints newspapers anymore, right? We all get our news from Facebook
Yo,
and maybe
Instagram,
the news if
Twitter.
it's on at some point, CNN.com and things.
Yeah.
So I was printing newspapers and I got really, really sick. And the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They couldn't diagnose me. And I was pretty much bedridden. And I was kind of starting to feel sorry for myself. And that just sparked something because I'm not a feel sorry for myself kind of person. So I picked up the phone and called a friend of a friend of a friend type of person that was already a real estate broker. And I've always been interested in real estate. So I was like, I didn't give him a chance to tell me no. I was like, when's your next lunch break?
Just straight on them.
Yeah. I'm just like, when's your next lunch break? Because people don't turn food down, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one of the first things I
You
learned.
see.
So I took him out to eat for lunch. We kind of just joked and talked and laughed for a while. And about 30, 40 minutes in, I looked at him. I said, so you're probably wondering why I got you here, right? And he was like,
He
yeah,
was
actually I
wondering.
am.
Yeah.
So, I just kind of spit it out and put it on the table and was like, look, this is who I am. I want to learn. And I don't mind grinding. And I said, well, just give me a call, let me know. And he said, no, how about this? Be in the office Monday morning, 9 a.m. And that's how it
Mm.
started. Started out pretty much kind of an intern, more or less. Did all the crap work for a
Yeah.
while.
All the like the paperwork and
Bro,
oh my
this was not in
gosh.
the digital age all the way yet, right? So I'm
Oof.
licking stamps.
Oh no.
Yep, I'm printing papers and bringing them files to places that I've never even heard of. Just
So you like that like running around
I was a
intern,
gopher. I was a gopher.
Okay, okay.
Bringing people coffee. All the whole nine.
I was going to ask that, but I was like,
Yep,
I don't want
yep,
to be too cliche.
yep. It was,
But
and that part of it was mostly just
it's,
that's part of who I am.
yeah,
I wasn't made to bring them coffee, but I knew my role.
yeah. At that, you didn't want to overextend,
Correct,
or
correct.
didn't want to make yourself be like, oh, well, I think I know what I'm talking about a little
Right.
bit.
So I started off with property management. That was it. That company particularly was real estate and property management.
Okay, so it was
So I
like hand
started
in
off
hand.
right.
That's
Got my feet wet.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
And the brokers they like the way I did business so much they paid for me to get my real estate license.
Yo, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
So I made them some money there too.
Yeah, I could tell you just by like your energy and your personality and just the way you just talk. It's just I can understand how they were like, yo, man, this dude is good with people, man. Like, bro, it's
Appreciate
like
it.
we just
Appreciate it.
as y'all see, we just lax, chilled out,
Right. Right.
Like I always say, people is unscripted. This is always coming on to strictly the top. It's just more like two friends catching up,
Right.
and that's I kind of get that feel from you,
That's the raw though.
So like, how do you bring that into being a real estate? Just you sticking to being you and not switching up to be someone else.
Well, that's actually a great question because in the beginning there was so much pressure to quote change,
I can
especially
only
being
imagine.
new in it.
Yeah.
And when I first got into it, a lot of people didn't have tattoos like that, and like I said, they all
They were like
button up
yeah.
shirts, right, suit blazers, and me, I'm wearing like a polo collar shirt with a gold chain, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" Right? And
That's a sell.
yeah, right. I'm pulling up in an Infinity on 20s, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" And he's young. Like, I'm not gonna let him sell my house, but I kind of just forced my way in the door. And once you once you know what you're talking about, and and you're confident, People work with you, and in real estate, a lot of times you're selling yourself before you're selling the house.
Oh, well,
I have
didn't
to
know
sell
that
you
about
myself to sell your house.
that. Okay.
So regardless of where you're from or who you are, how old you are, anything, the facts are still the facts, and numbers still the numbers.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers do not lie.
Numbers don't lie, man. So did anyone kind of like teach you more of it, or was it you kind of like, all right, I got my foot in the door, they're teaching me? Because I know growing up sometimes people only want to teach you
Oh man, that's
just
all the time.
a little bit,
No.
not the whole. This is how you do it.
Right.
This is how you want to keep doing it. This is how you stay in the game
Right.
for a long time. They just want to sprinkle enough just for you, so you can come back and be like, yeah, I did this. This
That's
worked
real
out.
estate all the
So
time,
it's
man.
like, were you like self-taught at one point where you're like, yeah, the advice that I'm getting is good, but it's not going to take me to where I need to be at?
So that's also a really good question, because the original brokerage I was with, they ended up dissolving. So when that happens, that it's kind of like a vulture effect, because these brokers make money off real estate agents. So they heard that we were dissolving, so all these brokers were coming at us to work for them, offering us different things and all that. So originally, I kind of got the blueprint from my original broker. That's still my good friend. A lot of people know him in Hartford County. His name is Paul Diggs.
Shout out, Paul.
Yeah, great guy. We actually just started doing some business together again. So it's kind of full circle.
So I was just about to say, full circle comes back around.
Yep, because he kind of went some different avenues and then came back to it. So long story short, I go to another brokerage. They didn't have property management there, and I realized how much money I was missing out on. So I just kind of took the blueprint that Paul gave me and built off that.
Built off that.
Yep, and I've been innovating the property management business, and I say innovating with confidence, because nobody does it like I do.
Hey, that's how you gotta say it. I mean, man. I definitely follow you, and I definitely see all the great things that you're doing, and that's definitely something that's like, dude's on it. Like,
Appreciate it.
I gotta meet with him today. I was like, you gotta meet with him today. But then he just like you was talking about, you just sold the house. I was like,
Yep. A lot of settlements lately, a lot of everything lately, honestly. A lot of investments. I'm starting to focus a lot more on the investment side of it.
Really?
Yeah. Helping others invest, building investment teams, something else I'm about to get into. And that's something else I brought to the game as well. Because like you said, a lot of people don't want to hold hands and make money.
Yeah. I don't want to just go out and just get on there.
Right. It's a greed thing at the end of the day.
How do you stay well, I'm gonna say, like, how do you stay not like I know for a certain extent you have to be greedy, but how do you know to be like,
a little more humble?
Yeah, or like I always say, like in the great words of Future, you can't think for yourself, you gotta think for the team.
Right.
Especially if you have like a good, like an actual good, trustworthy team around you. Like, how do you spread?
I catch myself sometimes, and I humble myself, because with success, sometimes we get a big head.
Absolutely.
And just quick as you got it, as quick as it can go.
It can go right away.
So once in a while, I catch myself, and I'm like, all right, hold on. I'm like, I need to be a little bit more humbled, and then come back to reality a little bit. But as far as the team goes, I got a great group of people around me, and I'm continuing to build that team and tweak things, and I'm revamping the whole company like throughout this next year.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Any ideas you can, anything you can share with us on some of these?
Sure. Like I said, the investment team thing is a great idea we're starting to build, because not everybody has, a couple hundred cash to throw around.
And I do know somewhat is that people are starting to go into more investing nowadays. I still know absolutely nothing about it. I have a friend that tells me every once in a while, like, yeah, this stock's going up, this is going down.
Right.
I'm like,
right.
I don't know.
Well, and stocks are great. I'm glad you said something about that. Stocks are great. I'm not a stock guy though, so I don't give advice on stocks. I play around with them. I've made some okay money with it, just a couple different stocks. But I'm a real estate guy, so when I say investing, it's more or less like, all right, say me, you, and two other people are on the team, but I might have 50 grand, you might have 75 grand, they might have 30 apiece, whatever the case. And it's broken down so simple to where everybody gets their
Yes, a little
they
cut.
correct.
Okay.
And I try to make it everything as easy as possible to understand. Because
Okay.
with houses, it's easy. It's not like a stock where you wake up the next day and
And it's just
it's
formatted.
gone.
Yeah, it's just not even there.
It's still there. The
anymore.
house is there. It's not going anywhere.
He's like, it's not going nowhere.
Right.
So how is it more better to get with a couple of people, or if you have the money by yourself, is it better to just do that?
It's kind of a loaded question, but I will say it depends. If you got good people to get with, it's always
It's always a little better.
yeah. But it
Okay.
also depends on your personal goals,
Mm-hmm.
your personal finances, your personal situations. I mean, I personally, uh, I like doing a little bit of everything. I like having a little bit of everything going. So even if I am teamed up with people, I'm also going to have my own solo projects.
Okay. So always working.
Always working.
Always working. Always working. I know some of the young people are trying to get into real estate. And do you think you can give them some sort of wisdom? Spread the
Absolutely.
knowledge a little bit. I know. I call him a little brother. He's like my best friend. I know he was trying to get into it a couple of times. I know he hit some stumps out, and I know you tuning in, bro. I know. I have. And I was like, you have any questions? Just ask me. I got
Absolutely.
you. So, one of his questions was like, with him being so young, and it kind of being, even though I do see younger people starting to become
More savvy.
more savvy with it. Like, is there any like tips that you can give for someone who's young and just ambitious? They may not have the money now, but as you say, like your personality and your people, your money and your
Right.
I mean your people skills and your personality skills.
I did not start real estate with any money.
No.
Nope. Like I said, I came from print newspapers. It was a hard labor job, man. Like
I can only imagine.
and I quit that job when I got into real estate. Like I was just, that's what I'm going to do. Uh, but just a little bit of advice for newer people, younger people especially. It's not easy. It's not easy being your own boss. It's not easy running a business. It's not easy selling real estate. None of it's easy. But at the end of the day, anything worth having is worth working for. So if you can't like kick down the door and bust into this industry, just don't even do it.
You in the
Don't even do
wrong
it.
profession.
Right.
Okay. So that's something I can definitely see.
And a lot of the misconceptions is, oh, you're your own boss. You make your own schedule. No, don't.
Oh,
No, don't. I wish I did.
I
Nights,
have
weekends,
that.
dude. I literally wrote an offer on Christmas Day this year.
Really?
Yep.
It's time to be celebrating with the family. You in business mode.
Right.
Don't
I'm
stop.
like, look, y'all. I need like 2 hours. I'll be there. I got to handle something.
Man, that's tough. Have you ever had anything that it took you like out of state, out away from like your family or anything that you just seen and you was like, man, this is just a great opportunity and I gotta take it?
Well, I actually real estate. One of the ways that has blessed me is I have multiple bosses. I call them my clients are my bosses.
Mm-hmm.
And I treat them as such. That's another thing that I feel like I do that a lot of other realtors don't do. Because a lot of times they kind of get the big ego going, and at the end of the day, we got to remember we work for these guys.
Mm.
They can pick up the phone and call the next person as soon as we hang up. So I like my client retention rate is pretty good. But no, real estate has actually allowed me to raise my family, be at all their sporting events, be at all their school events. But I would sacrifice my nights and weekends and holidays and things like that. But I was always at every sporting event. Every practice, coached a lot of them. So that was more of a blessing to me than being able just to turn my phone off and not have to work.
I like that because I know sometimes when you get into this, you don't have that time of being there at any kind of events, or if you're there, you're like partially there because then you're always like, hold on, I got,
Don't get me wrong, I've sacrificed so much money doing all the sports events and school things, and because when you have more than one active kid in different sports, I mean, you're typically on a field, a court, or something every day of the week. Especially when they're in the travel leagues and things like that.
Is no joke. You get the turn, you gotta pack up, and sometimes you gotta go right with them.
I was every one of them. Every one of them. I never missed them. I think I can count on two hands how many events I've ever missed.
And that's something that like I think this generation sometimes now doesn't get,
No.
as they don't get that like I can, I have the ability to choose, like no, I'm gonna sit here and I'm actually gonna support, and then you got some that are just like, I need to get back on the grind. So
Hmm.
the fact that you're able to sit there and go to all these, festivities and actually have family time, man, that's
Yeah.
really amazing, man.
That was my first priority.
Yeah. I can't say God, I ain't there yet. I ain't got no little ones yet. I got a dog.
Hey. Shout out to the pup.
Shout out to the pup, Chance.
Right.
Pops loves you, man. Pops love you. I was just reading your hat. What's going on with the J properties? You wanna touch on that?
Yeah, sure. Just expanding. That's the goal this year. Revamp and expand.
We
That,
have been expanding.
yep, that's the goal because when you get to different tiers in your business, things have to change. And
Absolutely, I can agree with that.
you can't make this money doing these things. So as you climb,
As you climb up, you gotta
Mhm,
start evolving as a
correct.
company. Okay.
Yep.
Have you done anything for the community?
Every
With your
chance I
property?
get.
Yeah. Oh
I mean, I'm
man.
I'm more focused towards youth. That's my
We need it
that's
though.
kind of my niche, especially young men,
We need it.
because I was a wayward young man.
I like that.
So that's kind of my focus to tell them guys, hey, if I can do it, you can do it.
Absolutely.
Like I like every every kid out there has a story, especially when they're in lower income
Mm-hmm.
areas. And I went to a facility. I was locked up as a juvenile and spoke, and it just blew their mind that who I was now. And I used to sit in those seats, So I speak every chance I get. Coaching is a great way for me to connect to a lot of these young men.
Absolutely.
My son's friends, they're still around, so it's nice to be
It's
able to
nice
connect with them as well.
it's just nice overall because, like you said, these were just so misguided right now.
Well,
I
a lot of
think
them don't have anybody to tell them
they don't have
nothing. Yeah.
and I do think that sometimes with having a person like you around, it gives them the ability to tell them something that they don't want to hear, but they know that they needed to hear that.
Well, you'd be surprised because I used to be nervous, kind of to like get on them, but come to find out, most of them respect it. Like
Mm-hmm.
just the other day, I saw a kid that I used to coach, and he was obviously in a bad way, and he was gang banging and some other stuff. But I was just very real with him.
Very, and
You
see,
know,
that's what we need is like someone to be real. Like, bro, that's not what we do.
yeah, that's not that's not what it is,
That's
right?
not what it is.
Right.
You want some, and I think nowadays the people like the youth is so onto this quick money,
Hmm.
like super quick in
Everything's
and
quick for
out.
them now.
You know,
Everything. I mean, they got instant gratification when
yo,
they pick up their phone.
straight
You
right there.
know,
No, anything that's what's happening,
and,
anything that's going on.
well, they have access to everything we didn't. I mean, I'm older than you, but
But I look, look, man, all these people getting paid for like playing a game on
oh yeah,
Twitch
yeah,
and everything.
Twitch, and yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like, dude,
Yep.
I could have done that when
Right,
I was
right,
like
right.
13 and still.
Yeah.
But come on, make a little comedy. I
Right.
ain't get there yet, but like, it's just wonderful that you're able to have that connection with the community and
I will say
be
COVID
changed.
has put a big wrench in it, though. It's harder to connect with younger people, especially with COVID, because there's not as many sports events and
No,
not as many
everything.
gatherings. Places I would typically be, I'm not right
No.
now.
Hopefully everything eases up and we're able to have a
I,
good role model like you back out here because that's something that we
I appreciate it.
truly do need, especially with these young men out here. It's just getting like just
Yeah,
ridiculously crazy
I
out
mean,
here,
I'm
man.
still at it. I'm just a little bit more behind the scenes with it right now.
I
Like I
mean,
do a lot of donating and stuff right now. Just
sometimes even still donating, that's something that you ain't have to do. That
no.
just makes it more better.
Yeah.
And people like you and my mom, I always say like, man, my mom, Antonio,
Hmm.
there's tons of names I can mention right now, but it's like, you do not define like where you live
Hmm.
does not define who you become or who you are, and
Right.
that's something that's
Well,
truly amazing, bro.
and then touching on like you said, a lot of younger people want to get into real estate, which I totally respect that. One of my only regrets is not getting into it sooner.
Really?
Yeah, I got into it in my early 20s, but I wish I would have gotten into it 18, or even 16,
Still have a little something that went with it.
Well, and just to put it out there, if any young people have any questions about real estate, my lines are open.
Please, everyone,
Yep, my lines
hit
are
him
open.
up. We will before we end this.
Well, just anybody in general.
We'll try to get your contact
Yeah.
information up on
Yep.
just so everyone, because that's something that we need too, is just not someone to just hold our hand and walk us, but someone to actually just show you. And then like I know sometimes I always thought like well, this is a dumb question, but I know growing up now that it's like no question is really like a dumb question.
No. And what's dumb is not asking it.
Yeah.
For somebody that's going to answer, especially if you're with somebody that's going to answer the question, because obviously, like you said, some people don't want to give you any of the juice. I call it the juice.
You ain't lying. Some people don't.
They don't, and we deal with that in real estate constantly because it's a competitive market. So nobody wants anybody ahead of them.
Mm.
But my style is totally different. I'm able to spread it around without malice.
That's how it should be.
Right, and it services your clients better at times too, because instead of me taking on maybe a buyer in Ocean City and driving out there and trying to cover that, I'd rather just get with my guy in Ocean City and then we network it.
Work it together.
Right, I'll take the hit to service my people.
See, and that's that's like a, I don't want to call it like a sacrifice kind of, but it's like you said, it's like a networking thing that people don't really want to network nowadays. When it's like, how do you not want to network when
they don't want to share the money? That's what it boils down to. They don't want to share the money.
Oh man, I know one thing my mom told me is not all money is good money, man.
You're not lying. Not all money.
I had to learn that.
It took me a while to learn it too.
And I had to learn that no one's going to love your business the way that you're going to love your business.
Right.
So I that was another learning curve I had with having something up here.
Well, you just got to know your price too. It's for years I let people beat me up just because I was trying to get in the game. You were just trying to get into it and sustain, and just making sure my family was good on the back end. And I made a lot of stupid mistakes, and giving people just crazy discounts for no reason just to get their business, stuff like that. I don't care at this point. Like if you demean me to the point where I feel like you don't value me and my business and what I bring, then I don't want to do business with you anyway.
Mm.
So
that's real though. I feel like some people are kind of still stuck in like that limbo of like, I'm trying so hard to get my name out there that they don't really know kids gonna hate me, but I forgot. What was I gonna say? Bet on yourself. People don't know when to bet on themselves.
Yeah.
So when did you have? I'm sorry, I was reading it. When did you learn to like really just be like, this is 100% like all, and then expand out? Like, do you expand? Do you think you're going past Harford County in these coming years?
Oh, I've been going past Harford County.
Oh yeah,
Where
we at?
As far as property management goes, I do Southern Cecil, all of Harford, and Northern Baltimore County.
Okay.
But I also just partnered with my old partner, Paul. So we're covering the city as well. So all of Baltimore City, all the surrounding counties.
Oh, that's nice.
That goes back to the networking thing. I could personally try to cover all these areas by myself, but I wouldn't be giving them A1 service either. Doing that
because you'd be probably
I'd be
running around from here and there. And
right. So partnering with him has allowed me to provide the A1 service, even if the money's shared. Quote unquote. Quote unquote. Because you guys can't see me.
Yeah, man. Like it's just so awesome to have you on, to be able to drop this knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a blessing from what you're, from getting your foot into the door to being where you're at now. Mm-hmm. Like growing up, could you just what was your dream of just like growing up? Like, what was...
I to be honest, I actually didn't have one.
Really?
I mean, I was into a lot of bad stuff growing up. I'm single. I was raised by a single mom that worked multiple jobs, and wasn't home that much because she was just trying to make it. And grew up in a rough neighborhood, and I was a product of the environment for sure. And so I didn't really have a goal. I didn't even think I was. A lot of times I didn't think I was going to live to be this old.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 37. I didn't think I would get here. There was quite a few moments I didn't think I was going to make it past 25. So,
Really?
yeah.
And that's the thing that we going through now. She was like, I was not even making it to 25
Mhm.
nowadays. And
I got so many friends that locked up, overdosed, passed away, different types of you know uh, reasons.
yeah, it's just but you're here today,
Correct.
and we are thankful that you're here today.
Absolutely.
I'm just man, it's just having good people around.
That's a key.
Always is,
That's key.
and that's the key that
Yeah.
where I'm starting to, as becoming like a man. I can't have, you look around you.
I cut the fat, man.
Exactly.
And
If I see these people doing something that I don't really particularly do, I can't just be, around it, because then, I'm guilty by association.
correct.
So, in order for me to grow and become the man I want to be, I had to, cut some ties off. That was, it was hard.
Yeah.
People think that you're switching up.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go through any of that going through this?
I go through it now.
Yeah.
First of all, people don't understand how things work. First of all, so a lot of times if I can't give them what they want, whether it's warranted or not, I'm this, I'm that, all the bad words. So it's like it is what it is. Just because I knew you, 20 years ago, and we was both doing the same things 20 years ago, doesn't mean I can justify
Mhm.
bending the ways of business to
Just
work it
because-
out for you somehow. You gotta give me something to work with here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I seen where it was one of these posts, and it was about like small businesses. But they were like, if you're friends of a small business, stop asking them for discounts and just pay
Yeah.
regular price,
Right.
like
right.
everyone else. Like, if you're going to support me,
And-
actually fully,
right.
Support me. Don't be looking for like that discount or anything.
Right.
So like,
I do give discounts, but my discounts are, that now they're specific. And, it used to be I would get discounts just to get my foot in the door, just to get the account. Now, it's like I'll give you a discount, if you have multiple properties with me, or we've done a deal before, or your referral from other clients, and I'll try to give you as much of a discount as I can.
See, and that's something that I don't think people do. Is like you're able to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just gonna be flat out like no.
Right.
No. But I think some people are so quick to just be like, oh no, man, you wasn't like that. Like they don't even really get the chance to like even let you speak. I'm so my phone's even speechless. But like people don't even really let you to be like, nah, bro, it's not even like that.
No, they
more.
don't.
But like
they don't.
it's I've had a couple of people where they're like, well, let me be on, and I'm like, well, bro, like I can't.
Yeah.
Can't be just saying anything I want to say now.
Right.
Like I have to have a little professionalism, and then then you get like, well, you ain't like the old, you ain't the old you. You change. It's like,
well, one of the first things I learned in real estate was you're a reflection of the 5 most people around you.
Really,
and that stuck with me for since that. I mean, I picked up on that like 24, 25 years old, and this has been in my brain since. And that's something that I taught my kids. I put it in their brains as much as I could. So it's not just real estate. Like for instance, with my son, he only hung out with other athletes, and other guys that weren't into the stuff that we don't like to talk about, the drugs and all those kind of things. Not saying he's perfect by far.
No,
but he took that advice and he would only hang out with people that were on his path.
Which, like, I'm not downing on the people. You do your own thing,
right?
But like, I think you're just building them up for success to have the right people around. Because if you look around and let's say like you know, you're not at where you want to be right now, but like you see your homeboy getting a promotion, he's doing all good.
Mm-hmm.
You see your other one, and it just brings something inside of you to be like, yeah, man. Well, if they doing it, why can't I? And then like
Mm-hmm.
just the greatness around you, just really puts you on the correct path of doing it.
Correct.
And I like how you're doing it with them because I know my mom, she would definitely, you know, she would prefer the people.
Right.
I know you're watching, Mom. I know. I'm gonna keep this PG.
Okay. Right.
But like, you know, I definitely had some friends where she, you know, she stuck her eyebrow up and was like, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
But like at the same time, she had to be like, "Well, he got to learn himself." And I'm happy that I did because the group that I have around me right now is just nothing but
Solid.
just solid. Like I was telling Kia the other day, I was like, bro, I text the same 4 people
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Oh, and in the same,
you know, it just don't.
in the same breath, you know, we still cannot judge those people. They aren't on our path.
No.
You know, and that's something else I taught them. You know, there's still, you know, there's still people just because they're not on your path don't make them any better or any worse.
Yeah, absolutely, and
You
I like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's but you also got to realize that if you have somebody close to you that's not on your path, they're going to end up bringing you down. So there's nothing wrong with having a conversation with that person, but it's got to be, hey, bro, you got to get better. Let's get better.
Yeah, you know, I think sometimes with that is like when you motivate each other, there ain't nothing that can stop y'all.
Right.
But if you out here and you're like, bro, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you know, negative words can really like affect you like
Right.
that. So I really do commend you on being like, look, you can have those type of people, but like at the same time, you know, you gotta
be arm length.
You know, exactly.
Don't disregard them, but you can't keep them here if they're not doing positive things. Because, you know, they even if you're up here and they're down here still doing the same stuff, eventually you're going to start coming down.
You're going to start coming
up. You're going to start
riding in the car. You know, just
right. It starts with little stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it starts with little stuff.
It starts with the little stuff, and it just goes. And now you just like, dang, I get you.
So that's one of my biggest pieces of advice as far as real estate and just business in general is having the right people around you.
I think that's good too. I think another thing that my mother told me was just always like you said, just sometimes you just gotta be humble. You know, never really get your head too big. And because I know there was times where I was looking on here and I was like 200 views already. Like, man, we about to, you don't want to tell me nothing.
Right,
and like, you had a slow day, and I thought it was like
like I'm over it. This is done.
I was like, bro, what happened? We only got like 5 views a day. Like, what's going on?
Right.
So I always try to find like that nice like middle ground space where it was
still
like,
gotta be confident. You know, and sometimes it's a fine line between arrogance and confidence.
Yes. Yeah. I had to learn that too because I got to the point where, you know, I don't want to call it corrective criticism, but I was just like, bro, you see my work, bro.
Yeah.
I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
But now I had to, you know, take it back a little bit because now it's like my strings are starting to mess up, and I ain't got no one to look at but just me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the leader. I'm the head. I'm the main person here. So like if anything does mess up, there's the first person they're gonna look at is me. So I definitely had
the first letter.
Yeah.
You know, I know where they're coming when something's not right.
So it's like, oh, I still think I'm that good, but it's like, you know, things happen.
I think I ride like an entrepreneur roller coaster because some days you can't tell me nothing, and I'm just like the greatest realtor property manager in the world. And some days I'm just way overcritical of myself, and it just feels like, you know, incredible amount of pressure.
Absolutely. I think one of my times like that here is I had a client on, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be great. This is my first one. You know, let's start this off good. You know, then we come here. You know, things ain't popping up on the screen like how I want them.
Yep.
Then I got them fixed all up, and then you know my camera dies, and I'm like, what is there now?
Yeah,
I just saw her telling her, I'm like, I'm really good at what I do.
Right.
I'm really good at what I
And
do.
unfortunately,
And
you
then,
just gotta eat those moments sometimes.
and it definitely brought me right back down to earth
Yep.
where I needed to be at to be like, no, this will never happen again.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get back on my studying.
Yep.
I gotta get back on my grind
Well,
and
those
start
moments happen for a
perfecting
reason,
my.
right?
I'm blessed that it happened because ever since then, this
Wake up
camera
call.
will not down me.
Right.
I promise you.
Right. Right.
It just made me, put my head down.
Learning from your
and just
mistakes.
Got
Yeah, that's all it
got
is.
you, and then especially like being young, and then like it goes back to people thinking that like I make my own schedule and everything, and it's like no.
Mm-hmm.
Don't work like that. If someone calls and they're like, "Well, I want a tour up here," well, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing, whatever I'm doing,
Yep.
and I gotta come up here. I gotta come, and then I gotta at the end of the day, I gotta sell.
Yep.
I gotta sell, even if they're telling me something that I know that I don't want to do. At the end of the day, you gotta just be like,
Yep.
That's cool. I can do that, even though you know you don't want to. So I think having something like this is definitely an eye opener, and I can only imagine how it is for you when you have, your hand in so many things. Like, how do you like learn to just be like, take a breath. I'm only one person. How did you?
I still don't know. That's the most honest answer I can give you, man. I'm still working on, just kind of telling myself you're human.
Yes.
I just told somebody the other day. I said one of my big things this year is I'm going to stop blaming myself for being human. And,
I like that.
and it's just you can only do so much.
You're right.
Which is why I'm revamping it so that way I can delegate more things and so forth, more technology and things like that. Because you can't, like I said, you can't be doing these things with this money. Like you got to spend money to make money.
You spend money, money to
but dealing with all these people, man, it definitely takes a mental toll on you a lot and emotional.
Yeah, like
I get emotionally attached to a lot of these clients and deals, and even they say you're not supposed to, but that's part of me is how I do business.
I feel like when you get like that emotion, they can be like, no, this dude. It's not only about the house now, like it's about the people that go in it, or it's the people that's selling them. You don't want to gyp them or making them feel like they get gypped, and I know that just has to be like, oh, all the people you deal with too.
Yeah.
It's I know that's gotta be tough. And it's,
well, everybody's like, oh, you're your own boss. No, I have like 30 bosses. My clients are my bosses. So the more clients I have, the more bosses I have, and it's not like I can call them and say, okay, well, I'm only showing houses on Saturday from 10 to 12. So be there or don't be there. What I mean? That's how you get fired. No, it's like, so please send me your availability so I can conform to it.
Yeah, you can work around and be able to do that. Like, what is one of your, if you have one, what's one of your favorite houses that you sold or that you did work on? Or
I have a few. I mean, they all have some kind of like resignation with me. No matter what it is, if it's a rental or a rehab project or whatever the case, because we've done a lot now. It's hard to say. I don't think I necessarily have a favorite. Maybe one I had listed probably 15 years ago in Bel Air, sat on a hill overlooking the whole neighborhood. That was really nice. Yeah, had a wine cellar and everything else. It was really nice. That one always kind of stuck in my brain, but they all have different meanings to me.
I like that though. That each that it has a meaning to you, so that means it's something special. Have you ever had one house or one particular thing that you were just like, bro, I can't do that.
One, I can't even count on two hands. I mean, like a lot of owners, and not being negative or condescending at all, but they don't understand A, how things work, or B, how much they cost. So a lot of times, man, they ask for stuff and then they get sticker shock. But it's like, you know, I'm an actual company. You know, it's
You
like
know, it's
you
not
didn't
just
you didn't call your buddy that works at Home Depot and does this on the side. You know, you call J
exactly.
Properties. So, you know, unfortunately, I have to pay taxes. I have these overheads. I have to pay my workers. You know, everybody has to be happy at the end of the day, or J
Absolutely.
Properties don't work. So, you know, but don't get me wrong, we're a whole lot cheaper than most of those people we bust out the yellow pages.
Really.
But we're
Well,
also we're also not, you know, going to do this stuff for the Harry homeowner price.
okay.
So
See,
somewhere in the middle, a
I
happy
was about to
medium,
say, yeah,
happy
like
medium.
somewhere as a medium.
Hmm.
How did you get into getting like your own crew together, or
That's a good question.
yeah, like because
That's a
he
good
was like,
question.
yeah, I got a crew, and I was like, I forgot, dude, that was like a
I
whole
got a whole
crew, like
and anything you can imagine, man. We do it all. We've done it all. Well, I don't want to say we've done it all because every time I say we've done it all or seen it all, something else
something
happens.
new happens. So.
Right, right. You know, we got requested to do like a whole, you know, under decking gutter system last year, and we've never done it before. Yeah, it was a new thing,
How was that?
challenging, very challenging. But you know, it got done and they were happy. So happy endings. And you know, I learned some lessons on that job.
Man, but now you got, it's like I got a whole new trait now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, it's nice to add things to the resume.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and things that you know, things that we offer, things get added to that all the time. But honestly, just a lot of trial and error as far as the crews go.
Yeah,
A lot of trial and error. I like to keep good people around me.
I think having good people around you just keeps
Yeah,
just a nice, healthy
yeah,
environment as well.
yeah.
Has it ever got to the time where like on the job where you're like, all right, bro, we just
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, typically, you know, when that happens and I can't work with you, it's just over.
we
You
just
know, and there's not a lot to talk about after that. You know, if you're on the job cussing and fussing and you know the clients hear you and you're just negative all the time or you know just trying to sell them on stuff or any of that, I just want you're not gonna work with me.
and that's understandable too because
Yeah,
like it's
because it's my business at the end of the day.
and, and that goes right back to
Yep.
being like, at the end of the day, they
Yep.
ain't not gonna blame them. They're
Right.
gonna blame the
It's gonna
man
come to
who
me.
hired them and
Yep.
who brought them on my property.
Hmm.
Have you done anything? I want to say like, have you done any? They're building like a rofo up the street from me. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. You ever do anything local like around me or anything? I'm trying to think.
Well, right up here, right?
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. I mean, we sold some houses over there.
I might have to take a
Yep.
look. Oh, you hear that, Mom? You hear that?
Yeah,
2025.
I
So
mean Riverside. I've actually sold the biggest house in this section right here in this area.
no way.
Yep, 7 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms, 2 kitchens,
Hey,
2 living rooms. Yep, 2 laundry rooms. Yep.
like an apartment inside of a house.
It actually the basement actually is an apartment. Yep.
Nice.
So I sold the biggest house over
That's
here.
nice. That's literally like how I had my old setup was. It was like
Yeah.
literally, you walk in, there's a living room upstairs, you go downstairs, and there's another living room. That's
Yep. It was actually the one of the builders for that neighborhood built their own house, customized, and ended up selling it. And I hope somebody buy it.
man, that's nice. You ever bring your kids any of your real estate jobs or just have them like yeah, I'm here too. Early in the morning, making sure everyone's good.
I mean, I brought my son on for a few things, more like the labor side of it, because he's he's a hands-on guy, he's a strong guy, but neither one of them really want any parts of it because they see how stressed I was.
So they're like, nah, Dad, nah,
Exactly.
nah,
Like,
we're good on that.
Like, don't get me wrong, my dream was for them to take over the business, help
and have
me
it
and
run
then
on in the
right,
legacy and everything.
correct. But none of them want any parts of it.
Yeah, it's all good though.
Yeah, they're finding their own
good.
paths, and I'm good with that.
It's all good.
Yeah.
See, and it's you being supportive of that too, because I had my mom come on like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you look at her wall, she got all these accolades and doctors, and
She's
business
decorated.
coach.
Yep, she's decorated.
And then I'm like, I'm coming on here, and I'm like, got a nice high school diploma.
Hey,
Well, like
I'll let you on a secret. I got GED. So it ain't about the paper all the time.
And it's not, and that's something that like I had to learn because I know for sure sometimes it's when your parent has that many accolades and done so much that you hear other people like, yeah, like, what is your son doing? You're like, oh well,
He's chilling.
yeah,
So,
he's just
he's a
chilling.
nice guy.
He's a
great guy.
great kid. It's like, well, I mean, I appreciate it. I was like, I could do some other things. Like, does that like ever filter into?
Honestly, I think I was the trendsetter for my family, because in all honesty, we were kind of black sheep from both sides of the family. So I have money on both sides of the family, but it never benefited me. Um, so I was the first one in my immediate family to buy a house.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, I was the first one to start a business. First one to do a lot of things.
So you was a trans. You
I,
was a translator.
I was, yeah,
Kind
of, yeah.
and I always like that because it's like that comes back to like
What's the mentality?
just you're not bound to where you're at.
Correct, correct.
If you have the mentality to be like, I got something that I'm actually gifted at, and then just taking it and run with it. And it's just like, I wish more people understood that mentality, that they actually have it.
Right.
They just got to bring it out. So it's just amazing.
I tell you, man, I growing up in a Section 8 neighborhood, I didn't even know what a water heater was. You know what I mean? I never even pushed a lawnmower because the maintenance cut our grass.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm doing, $5,000 landscape jobs sometimes. Or,
you're just like,
or selling a $500,000 house with a tankless water heater. And learn that. It's all
you gotta learn. It's, how does that like? You ever got like excited about something that you was like, dang, bro, I ain't never. And then now you're doing it right now, or like you're selling somewhere that has it.
Oh yeah. I love seeing different stuff in the houses, whether it's old, new. Some of the older stuff is more intriguing than the new stuff.
I see that.
So it's nice, and I will say that's one of the things that I do love about real estate. That's never boring, whether it's stressful or not stressful. It's still never boring.
See, I like that. It's something that always keeps you entertained, and something that I think that always keeps you on your toes.
Yep.
That's like, oh. Now, have you ever found like because with your real estate, you also sometimes you do the fix up houses, or you sell them, or you clear them out.
We do flips. We do investments. We do it all. We'll list. If you want your house listed, we do that. If you want to purchase a house, we'll do that. If you want to flip a house, I'm versed.
See, and I like that. It's not all about just sticking to one thing that you're comfortable at. It's all about maneuvering around and figuring out.
You gotta keep the lines all open. You don't want to close them off.
And that's what I like. It's like I'm trying new things out here. Trust and believe. Hopefully, the next time you see me in here, you'd be like, "Oh, I'm looking around. Like, okay, he said he was going to do that."
Yep. That's what's about.
It's just all about just. I want every guest to come in here and be like, you know what, he did take my words to heart. And now, like, you see him, like, you see me actually just doing the things, like I told you before we came on, it's all about just understanding the other person and, learning from them too, and just getting a different perspective on life just in general,
Right.
Like,
because you always learn something from somebody.
Always.
Regardless of what, business they're in or, and I try to tell my kids this too. It's not a bad thing to be different than everybody else in the room.
Absolutely not.
I've sat in rooms before and looked around like, man, if you didn't know anybody, you wouldn't think I belong here.
I know exactly how you feel on that one.
My daughter took a childcare class. I'll never forget. I think she was in like 11th grade, but she took it at the college. And when I picked her up, I was like, well, how is it? She's like, well, everybody in there, they were older and this and that. I said, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
She was like nervous about it. I'm like, that's a good thing. You're right where you're supposed to be.
The truth.
Right. You're right where you're supposed to be. You don't want to look like everybody else in the room.
No. You don't want to, because once you feel like you look like everyone else, that's to me is when you lose out. Now you're just a regular. You're what I call like a normie. A normie. A normie. I'm always trying to set out just to be different. If it's for how I do my hair or how I talk to people or how I just want sometimes as me being an introvert, I don't mind just sitting here and just listening. And I feel like that's one of the good things about me is just like, whatever you get, you're just going to get supply. You're not going to get nothing else from me, nothing more, nothing less. Like it's always just the same. And I think, being different out there brings the uniqueness out of you
Mhm,
too.
mhm.
Gives you that like different
Right.
like brain flowing juices. Like, oh, I think I might actually do that, and everyone else is just gonna be like, oh, and then next thing you know,
Yep.
they hopping on the train.
Well, I kind of enjoyed being the quote rebel. Coming into the real estate game young, never really changed up my appearance or anything, and
Just kept it real.
just stayed me.
Kept it who you are, and like you said, not conforming
Hmm.
and to anything that I'm not.
Well, and it blew my mind because I was early in the game, and I was doing a. And it used to bother me because people used to always say that, oh, you need a dress shirt, you need to, yeah, yeah. But I was doing a deal with a top producing agent. I mean, this guy blows everybody out of the water. He's really good. I'm still friends with him to this day. Uh, but I went to meet him at the office. He came out with cargo shorts on, slides, and like a Harley Davidson T-shirt. Right? I'm like, what's up? He's like, you see these? See these plaques all over the wall? It's like it don't matter what I wear. Look at this. Numbers don't lie. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, from there you were
Little
like
confirmation for me there.
Yeah, like that's. See, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. You see my professionalism now. You might see me something else.
Well, and everybody's different. Some people enjoy putting on the blazer,
the dress up and everything.
And I do sometimes. I clean up well sometimes, but this is me. This is what you're getting. You're getting J Properties. This is what you're getting.
Love represent the J Properties. I see.
Right.
Is the next thing up fashion?
Well, no, but what I started realizing was my logo was worth more than Ralph Lauren's logo to me.
I like that.
Maybe not to anybody else, but to me.
I like that.
So I used to be polo down every day. That was my thing. Everything.
Now you J Properties there,
dude. I'll wear this in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
I said, don't get me wrong. I clean up sometimes. You got going to 4-star restaurant.
Sometimes you gotta get that.
Yeah.
I like that though. See, and that's something like why I created this is just to always have the safe haven of being who you are is always allowed in here. Now, if you come in here on some other stuff, then I'm like, that's not you, bro.
That's right.
I don't have in front of my camera and act like that's you, bro.
Well, and that's one of the things I was excited about because it was a free form. So I was like, this is my element.
I appreciate it.
You talk to me, I'll talk to you. This is my element.
That's how I want it. Like how I wanted the show is literally like the feel of like if I just caught you walking out the store. Like, you always got one of them combos like someone just caught you out the store and you just start chopping it up,
yep.
And the next thing you know, like, hey, bro, I gotta go, bro.
It's always a joke. Like everybody that knows me, and even my kids will tell you, we can't go anywhere without you being in conversation with somebody, right? Even strangers, like they would say, "Oh, you make friends wherever you go. Why not?"
Sounds like this lady right here. What's her name? Dr. Stacy Venable. Yeah, it sounds just like
sounds
her.
familiar.
Sounds very familiar, man. Because I growing up as like a kid, I'm like, bro, we can't even go in the 7-Eleven.
Right. Oh, my kids used to be mad, dude. They'd be sitting in the back of the car, trying to run in my mouth.
Yeah.
All the time, every time.
I know one time, I'm not gonna say heated. I'm not gonna say heated, but I had a place I wanted to go. We was gonna go. Got out the store. I'm like, yeah, we about to go. I think we was going to GameStop or something. I was like, yeah, we about to go. Stacey, is that you? I said, yo, did we just leave this like 3 hours ago? We about to go out the store.
Right.
Like, but then all that did was just realize like so many people like just know you and like you're just well known. Like they just like, yo, that's just a good guy. Like, as growing up, my mom, they were like, man, all the times I talk to your mom, she's such a lovely lady. I'm like, so that's what she was.
Blessing.
That's what she was like,
Well, I do get frustrated sometimes because my phone literally never stops ringing or texting, and I mean it's just almost impossible to keep up sometimes. But I always got to remind myself that I've seen the opposite too, and
where your phone's just
if you got a dead phone, you're not making any money.
Oh,
so I'm just happy that it does ring, even if
it is one sometimes where
sometimes it could be a little frustrating. Especially the nights and weekends and holidays and all those things. That's a lot of times when people are looking
at houses.
Yeah,
I know, especially like maybe around like tax time too coming up.
So tax time is a tricky thing.
Yeah,
I hate tax time couple reasons. One, because I pay taxes, I don't ever get any back. But the other thing is, you get a lot of folks, and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way because I'm just being real and honest here.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of folks that come to you that only have money during tax time.
Okay,
You know, it's
I
like
get what you're saying.
they're
Now.
like, well, I got $5,000 right now to put down on this rental or whatever, and then you look at their application and stuff. It's like, well, let's go get you like 3 months. What's going to happen after that?
When the
And
money
then now we're
run out.
filing in court and everything else. So
Tax season is definitely
tax season is a double-edged sword.
One of those where it's like, yeah, it's either a hit or a miss, man. We either
My phone will not stop during tax season.
really.
Everybody's looking for rentals during tax season, and I've actually diversified a lot more because I started out mostly rentals, property management and mostly rentals. I mean, my first account that I owned at J Properties is a $800 rental, in a condo in Edgewood. And I still have that account, 15 years later. So yeah,
That's a bless.
but that's how I started. But like I said, I've diversified a lot these past couple of years to where I'm doing a lot of investment stuff, a lot of helping people purchase, helping people sell. I've gotten away from being a rental guy.
Okay, so now
but a lot of people don't realize that. So
you think you're on the run, you're like, oh no, I'm on the I want to say bigger and better thing.
Yeah, you still got to humble yourself.
At the same time,
it's like and you cannot help everybody, unfortunately.
Learn that the hard way.
Yes, you can't. You can't. It's just impossible. And so I'm just working on implementing more advanced systems and things like that, so we can help more people.
You ever thought about doing like the one little QR codes that they're doing now?
I got them. On the back of my business card.
Yeah. Beat me right to it. I was just thinking about that. I was like, nice.
Yep.
I like that. Yeah, that's like I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
About the other day.
And that's another thing for young people. Some advice is, beat up social media as much as you can.
Yeah.
It's free.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do boost posts and things, and that costs a couple bucks, but I mean, it might cost me $20 to boost a post, but if I get one inquiry, it just paid for itself.
It did, and that's something that that I had to go to, and I was like, well, even if it's only you're boosting this much, but you see the people that it reached.
That's all that matters.
Oh yeah,
because you don't know who's gonna reach out to you. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but I've had people I gave them my card reach out to me like 5 years later. And see, some of my best customers.
See, I like that. That's where we're going off here off of Brass Mill. The podcast of Brass Mill. That's where we're going on now. Because I always say, consistency with posting is key. If they know I'm coming out with a show every Wednesday, and then I post a flyer about it either that Wednesday or like that Monday or Tuesday, they know that it's coming.
Right.
So it's definitely something that I've been preaching when people ask me, how did I get started? I just say consistent.
I totally agree. I got to get better myself with consistent posting.
It can be one of the, with me, it can definitely be one of the good things and then like hard things. Like I know what I want to say, but I got to keep it that professionalism. So I can't really type how I want to talk.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many times I want to post stuff and be negative, but you can't. When you're running a business, like, and I apologize if I create the illusion of everything's peaches and cream in real estate because it's not. I just can't get on Facebook and say F this and F that. This been an F day.
You always gotta still put on like that kind of
stay positive,
like a positive kind of thing. Where it's like,
who wants to do business with somebody
who's always negative, just in the dumps?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not going to do nothing for me. It's not going to do nothing for you. But it just bring you down.
Yep.
So like I said, I think today, even though after like when my camera or anything happened, I still went on there and was like, man, today was such a great show.
Right.
But in the back of my head, I'm straight because what just happened? Like I can't believe this. Like Well,
and not to complain, but business runs your life in so many ways that I don't enjoy my phone. Like a lot of people get these iPhones and stuff, and they're like so excited about it. I don't enjoy my phone because it never stops ringing
It's
and
never
stuff.
stopped ringing.
Right. I can't even. I don't even turn my ringer on. I literally haven't.
It's on silent.
It stays on silent all day because if it's not, it's going to ring nonstop. So I'm just constantly looking at it and responding. I can't enjoy my Facebook and my Instagram sometimes the way I want to. It's just flooded with messages
and then
right, and you got to be cognitive of what you're posting. You know, like you say, you can't have a crappy day and say you had a crappy day.
Yeah, you just can't. It just doesn't work like that.
Yep. And then, you know, as much as you want to post, even political things and stuff, and you know, I had to learn the hard way about that. You know, it's
slippery slope.
Well, it takes a lot of your energy.
That too, because you man, Facebook, yo, is just such a battle too. Because you'll just open it up and you're like, oh, this dude just responded back. Like, oh,
right.
Let's go back in there, and you know, it's just that's some that like has always been.
And I'll tell you, I had to learn to stop giving a lot of people and things energy that didn't deserve it.
Absolutely.
And I'm still working on that. It's still a struggle for me because I let things get under my skin sometimes. I'm bigger than. You know, and I shouldn't.
It definitely happens to me, man. I'm not lying about that one. It's just like, then you do it, and now you're just like, damn, like, I should have never.
That's not a chess move.
No,
right, that's a checkers.
Nope. Took the words right on my mouth, man. Checkers. Like that's checkers work now. We playing chess, so that's definitely something I thought about.
Well, I don't know if you ever seen any of my my postings, especially for rentals. Everybody out there are real estate experts. Whenever you make a post about real estate, right?
You'd be surprised how many real estate experts hop out the waterworks, and you'd be like, "Oh, really?"
Yep. So I had to learn to stop giving the negative comments any energy.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's one of you and 100 of them. So you go spend all day replying to people.
All day replying to every single one.
For one negative comment on any of my posts, I have 5 people in my inbox trying to rent it, so it don't matter. That's what I realized.
That's a positive mind thing too. It's like
don't even matter.
One bad compared to 5 is like I take the months. I'll take the months every day. Yep. Well, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I know. There's definitely more to come. We will definitely have a part 2 on this. For the viewers that are watching and listening, and that will be watching and listening later on. Do they have any way that they can get into contact with you to ask you any questions, or if they're interested in renting or buying? You mind giving them some info about that?
Absolutely. Renting, buying, selling, investing, any inquiries. My number is 443-655-7450. It's 443-655-7450. If you can, text me first so we can set up a conversation.
Learn that. I learned that the other
day. Text me first so we can set up the conversation. I don't want to keep missing your phone calls or playing phone tags. So that way it's just easier. Facebook, Jason Bennett or J Properties. Instagram is Money J Weather, Money_J Weather or J Properties. So yeah, those are the ways.
Those are the ones you can.
Yep. Website is jpropertiesmanagement.com, but it's MGMT. jpropertiesmgmt.com.
GMT. I like that one too.
Definitely. It took us forever to get a website. It wasn't taken.
Oh my gosh.
It took us forever.
That's something we got to talk about there too, now, because I'm trying to tell you, it took me. Still working on it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit my man's up. He's obviously, you see, he's doing big things out here. Please keep following us on this journey. And you guys have a good one. We out.